This past week we had some good news. The vaccine is being opened up to anyone 65 and older. So it really is recommended. Everyone should try to sign up, those who are eligible. The poskim, the gedolim, everyone is behind the vaccine. So it's a good thing to do. I'm looking forward to taking it myself. And God willing, that will be the beginning of the end, or the middle of the end of the pandemic. That's what we need. Parshas Erev. There's a lot to talk about. We have the makos, we have all of the drama of Yetzias Mitzrayim unfolding. But before we get to that, we have an interesting medrash that Rashi brings, because Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron are introduced to us with their genealogy. And in one pasuk, Moshe is mentioned first, and in another pasuk, Aaron is mentioned first. And Rashi brings from the medrash that means that they were in fact equal, because no one really has top billing. So Ramosha has a question. The obvious question is, were they in fact equal? If we look in the Rambam, we know that Moshe Rabbeinu is regarded as the greatest prophet ever in the history of the world for the Jewish people. And if we don't believe that, so then it's considered to be a denial of one of the principles of faith. So Aaron wasn't equal to Moshe when it came to prophecy. What about Torah? Moshe Rabbeinu was considered to be the Rabban Shel Yisrael. He's the greatest teacher of the Jewish people. He received the Torah directly from Hashem. Aaron couldn't match Moshe Rabbeinu when it came to teaching Torah, when it came to his scholarship. So it's almost a flippant comment to say that they were equal. One could argue, if we had to rate them, we would say Moshe is greater than Aaron, even though he was 3 years younger. Lahavdil, I used to have arguments with my father, alav shalom. We loved baseball. It was a way of connecting. And he would say he always felt that Mickey Mantle was the greatest player because he grew up with Mickey Mantle, and we would talk about Ted Williams and Babe Ruth, and then I had to bring in Johnny Bench, because of my allegiance to the Reds, into the conversation. We don't rate Gedolim. We don't rate someone like Moshe and Aaron. Even the attempt to say that they were equal or one was greater sounds to be as if it's lacking the sincerity of appreciating who they were. So Ramosha answers, and this is a lesson for life, that when we talk about equality, it doesn't mean that they were exactly the same. Being the same doesn't mean they were equal. They could be very different. And they could have different IQs and different powers when it came to prophecy and scholarship. But the real key determining factor of equality is, are you doing what you're supposed to do? So in other words, each was given a mission when it came to Yetzias Mitzrayim. Aaron had his specific role, and Moshe Rabbeinu obviously had his role. As long as they were sticking to what they were supposed to do, and they didn't waver, and they were steadfast in their righteousness, so they're equal. And that's a very important lesson, because human nature is to look over your shoulder and to believe, if I don't have as much money as my neighbor, the same type of car or better, or if my kids don't do as well in school, if I'm not as popular as the next person, so then we're not equal. That's wrong. That's the fallacy. Equality is to recognize, it's really being samech b'chalko, to appreciate what we have, to recognize our strengths and also our weaknesses, to not ignore them, to work on them. Nobody's perfect, but at the same time, nobody doesn't have talent or something that Hashem gave him or her to work with. And the key is to fulfill our role as individuals. And if we do that, then we have a great tapestry. Then we have all of Klal Yisrael working together. Each Shevet wasn't the same. One Shevet was given Malchus, that's Yehuda, that's where kingship comes. Another Shevet is given Kahuna and Leviah. Not every Shevet is the same. Yisachar was known for its scholarship. But it doesn't mean that if I'm from a different Shevet, I'm a loser. What else? What do I have? I was left out. That was Korach's mistake. The idea is to realize I'm somebody, Hashem intended me to be here, and I have what to contribute. Obviously, the hard part is focusing and learning, what is it that Hashem wants from me? What's my role? But in a general sense, the expectation is Torah, mitzvos, Kiddush Hashem, Bein Adam L'Chavero, the way we treat each other, the sensitivity, the awareness, the idea that we are not going to compromise the best interest of the klal, of the Jewish people and the majority of the people for my own self-interest. All of those basic values, that's what Hashem wants from all of us. How we achieve our own individual mission, that requires more work. But if we do, so then we're equal. Every generation, every moment in time, there's a Moshe, there's an Aaron, there's a Miriam, there are the Shiftei Ka. It's all among us. We just have to make sure that we stick to our individual mission. And with that, Klal Yisrael, and the world for that matter, is able to achieve its potential. Let's hope for continued good news. Have a wonderful Shabbos and stay safe.